My name's Thomas Bolton. Up until 3 days ago, I was the bar manager of the Exchange Pub and Kitchen in New Albany, Indiana, one of the biggest bourbon bars in southern Indiana. And Monday I started as a bourbon specialist for Maker's Mark. My preferred old fashioned is the stirred old fashioned. Because why the hell would you smash up a bunch of fruit into the bottom of the glass when you know your customer is going to do this? Why would you do that? Instead, you stir it, you get a nice mouthfeel. All the time, you put a little citrus over the top of the glass. That's your perfect old-fashioned. It's not the finger old-fashioned, it's the old-fashioned. My stirred old-fashioned, it's very simple. It's Angostura bitters, 2 ounces of Jim Beam Bottle and Bond. I use that strictly because the spices, the 100 proof, really counterbalance well. I use a ½ ounce of Demerara raw sugar. I like that because the earthiness of the sugar really balances well with the bourbon. And then with the orange twist on top and the zest, wrap around the glass, you get the orange in the nose first, and then you get the sugar and the bourbon, and it all finishes out really, really well. Yes, my thoughts on the soda water. Not saying the place, but that was our traditional old fashioned. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Your dilution should come from your stir, and that's it. If you stir the right way, your old fashioned is going to be perfect from the first sip to the last sip. Soda water's for the kids.
So my name is Raina, and I work at Commonwealth Tap in Norton Commons. So my favorite old fashioned is the muddled old fashioned, and honestly, all jokes aside, it really is the first one I learned how to make in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. And I didn't know there were other ways to do it until many, many, many moons later. So I like having the fresh fruit in there, even if it's just to play with. I'm even one of those people, when you get a vodka soda, I am going to demolish that lime with a straw. Like, absolutely fucking destroy it. And be completely content about it. So, I don't know, maybe that's part of it. But I just feel like it adds a little extra something to the old-fashioned. So what I put in my official Pendetta style old fashioned, which officially it's now been named, I do 2 of cherries that we soak in bourbon, 100 proof, and Luxardo, and that's just, they just sit and they just soak up all the yummy juices. So 2 of those, pretty much an orange wedge where I take off the skin and the pith, which means you don't have any of that bitterness, which I think is probably some of what people don't like about a muddled old fashioned. So you take that out of the equation. You take the bitterness straight out. And then sugar cube, a couple dashes of Ango. And this has kind of been subject to debate, even at my own bar. I actually put the 3 ounces of the beam in before I muddle. My reason being is, 1, it's gonna help get the sugar cube more into the alcohol. I go for the sugar cube first, I put it directly in the middle of my glass and just mash the shit out of it. And then the rest of it, I try not to destroy. It's just kind of like squench the good juices out of the cherries, squench the juice out of the orange, add ice, stir it to dilution, give it a good taste, make sure you're good, and then serve it.